Riddle me this. What comes in 3 and starts with an R?
Ramlock.
You're supposed to answer it.
I was like, do
Oh,
we
sorry.
answer? Do we not answer?
I did
that-
technically.
I was like, is this a question for the audience? Is this a question for us?
I hope everyone's doing well. I'm Adam, and I'm with Gavin and Keen.
What's
and
happening?
we are back with some more
Hello.
Batman Arkham, with more Batman the Arkham series, and in part 2 we'll be talking about Batman Arkham City. Are you guys excited?
Oh, very.
Yeah, excited. I just have one question. What was that accent?
What accent?
You went a little bit cockney
You
on the
went
city,
real
I think.
cockney when you went city, like city.
So Batman.
Danny Dyer has entered the room.
Wasn't even that. I was like, is he trying to do the whole like penguin impersonation?
And that would have been
Yeah,
good.
I was trying to do.
We should have kept it
go
in.
for the penguin. I'm
You should have
sorry.
kept
I'm not
Oswald
good at
going.
accents. If you see my Twitch, I'm not good at accents.
It's usually just Scottish for everyone.
Yep. But like anyway, like in the last video we talked quite a lot about Batman, and I think we all agree that we kind of like went into a bit of a tangent with talking about Batman, because Batman is such a huge character.
He's a massive
with so
character.
much lore.
There's too much
Massive,
to talk
exactly.
about with Batman.
And like honestly, all of us could talk about Batman for like ages. Like, I'm not even like, to me, Batman's one of my favorite superheroes. I just want to talk a bit about Batman first, guys. But like, I'm not sure like if you talked about Batman like if Batman was if Batman is yours or favorite superhero, Gavin or Keen.
Yeah, less so when I was a child. I mean, I love the Batman the animated series, and I had some Batman toys and that. But obviously, we grew up with the films in the 90s, and when you got to think about the films that came out around that time was the George Clooney ones, and the Val Kilmer one. You thought, yeah. Now I went back and I enjoyed Michael Keaton's. I absolutely love that.
Oh yeah.
And then I got brought up with the films. But in terms of just the heroes, and never mind the films, just in general, yeah, Batman's badass. The thing is, I always thought of Batman as a proper hero, and we'll probably go into this at some point in either this episode or another one. When you think about it, Batman's not a hero. He's
a vigilante.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he is.
He breaks bones, basically.
He breaks bones, but he gets names. He's really badass, which I think that's why it appeals to the much older audience, at least in the later films, and when you realise exactly who he is. He's still appealing for when you're a younger audience, but still.
See,
I love him.
Like,
I have one question, Keen, though. Like, see,
Yes.
like obviously us looking back now, talking about the movies we grew up with Batman, the 90s movies we grew up with.
Yes.
Like, as much as we shit on them now, we can't lie, we did enjoy them as kids, though, because it was just.
Oh my god! Of course we did.
definitely.
It's a
You
bit,
would-
but like looking now, you have to like go back and be like, no, it was shit. But like when you were a kid, and you had Arnold Schwarzenegger giving you like the weird ice puns, you were loving it.
Oh, they were the
I
best. I
hate
still use
you.
them now. I'm still like, he goes, Mercy. I can't do a Schwarzenegger accent, but he's like, Mercy, we're allowed to. No, not that one. But that is one. But he's like,
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Allow me to break the ice.
You are not sending me to the cooler. Freeze well. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Stay cool, bird boy. Let's kick some ice.
Show some mercy.
I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy. All right, everyone. Chill. It's a cold town. Cool party. Can you be cold, Batman? Chill. To perfection. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Winter has come at last.
time to cool off. And then he blasts them all with the thing. It's like, that's awesome. And then when George Clooney flashes the back credit card, it's like...
I bet $50,000 for Poison Ivy.
100,000.
And I'm in $500,000.
$1 million.
$2 million.
You don't have it. $3 million.
I'll borrow it from you. $4 million.
$5 million.
That's a utility belt, not a money belt. $6 million.
$7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
Like, I genuinely, I grew up, I was obsessed with Jim Carrey. I still kind of am obsessed with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is like one of my favorite actors.
He's great.
Absolutely.
So like whenever I found out he was the Riddler, I was like, I love this film. And then you had is it Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face? I was like, I just love this.
It was unusual
because it was like I was so used to Men in Black and Ace Ventura. I'm like, these are like two of my favorite characters from two of my favorite movies.
I think what we really want to talk about now is definitely Arkham City, which we definitely talked about a lot before. But like, I think because like I know you mentioned this before in the last video, Keen. But like you always said like I think, and I definitely agree with this, that like game sequels are a lot different to like movie sequels, because for the most part movie sequels tend to be very disappointing compared to the sequels of movies. But however, with games, like they tend to be a lot better because they take the feedback from like the previous game and implement ways to improve it. I'm sure you'd all agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I thought... See, I'm a sucker for loving first episodes, first films, first editions, and the reason being, I always convince myself that, and it's true, is that that's the origin. That's where it all started, and that's why my love is there for it, because, I mean, I love the first Assassin's Creed, even though literally the 9 missions or so you've got are all assassination attempts, and they're all basically the same type of villain. Jump from the rafters and kill them, and that's it. But... like with games especially, the technology is constantly evolving, and it is in film as well, but there's only so much you can change in film that you're going to physically see as an impact and physically see on the screen. So as a viewer, you're not going to see it massively. You're not going to see that they've used a higher, newer lens unless you know about that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's just going to be, oh, it looks a bit clearer, or it's got a different style. That's what people say, opposed to, oh, they've been using 34mm lens, all that kind of stuff. They don't know that. But with games, you can physically see, like you can see detail on people's face, and you have been able to since the 90s in films. But with games, they might be missing textures on their arm. You might think, oh, that looks scaly, but it doesn't look bumpy. And then you see an upgrade in the next game, you're like, holy shit, that looks scaly. That looks like it could feel the textures. And I think that's in terms of like technological improvements, that's what makes the sequels to games. Not all sequels are better, but most sequels, with that improved technology, does make it better.
The only thing with what you were saying, Adam, about like obviously people or games always improve on the first. The only thing I would say against that is Assassin's Creed Unity. That game was the worst sequel to ever be. It was the worst game to ever be released. Like of the bugs, it was just a broken mess.
I mean, without going too much into it, because I can pretty much see Assassin's Creed being its own episode.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Yeah,
but Unity,
absolutely.
I think with games like Assassin's Creed, it's something by Ubisoft and other games, not necessarily just Ubisoft. There's other companies that do it. When they see that there's a game making money, and they've got and they know that there's not going to be, or they don't feel like there's going to be a mass improvement in technology that's going to make the game stand out miles, they can churn out the game because they've got the character arcs, they've got the running code, they've got it all there for them. All they need to do is basically retexture it, remodel it, and change the story up.
It's the same.
It's easy for them to produce. No, it's not easy. It'd be easier for them to do than a brand new game. So I think they rush out these games thinking, oh, it's going to make money, but they just neglect it and they fix later. It's that whole thing about release now, fix later. People want it now, we'll give it them now, fix later. But people want a finished game. Same with Cyberpunk and other things. At this time, right now, as recording this, they've been moved back
been
like
delayed,
8 months.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'd much rather that happen so we can get a polished game than them release it and say, oh, here's a 92GB patch. Just give me that in the game. That's all I want.
Well, that's it. We're living in the era of day one patches where companies, and as well because you have so many franchises now and games companies that just do yearly releases. So you've all the sports games yearly without fail. Yearly
FIFA,
I don't know if any of you keep up to date with all this news, but have you seen? Did any of you see the whole mess with the WWE game from this year?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
It was released to basically it had the same glitches and like it looked like the absolute same sort of mess that Unity was when Unity got released.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen some like screenshots and stills.
You
grabbed
probably
from it. I
have
think
seen
that-
screenshots
Oh, right.
of like the wrestlers with their faces all destroyed and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that's still getting fixed. It's still broken to this day.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's been out for nearly half a year almost.
Oh.
You've like I
Yeah,
said, you've all
like-
the sports games. You've Call of Duty every year without fail. Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed was like that, but now they're doing it that they're taking sort of. It's now every other year, I think, with Assassin's Creed, if I remember rightly.
Something like that. Yeah.
They're talking about how all these games like are failing, and to think like Arkham City, not only like to me personally like improved on Arkham Asylum, but like exceeded all expectations. I personally think, but I think I asked this before in the first video. But what did you guys think of? What was your guys like first impressions of Batman Arkham City when you first saw it?
I mean, I didn't play them in order. We discussed this in the first one. I didn't play them in order.
I was the same.
Or rather, I think I did, but I didn't play them when they were first released, should I say. So by the time that these games had come out, we'd seen the kind of things that were implemented in them. But going back and seeing, obviously, playing the first one, you're in a very confined space. You've got it tends to be 4 walls on either side, whether the room's massive or small. You're still inside a building for the majority of it. If not, you're on an island. You can't escape. Arkham City, though there were little islands, they were still a whole lot bigger. There were a whole lot more to see, a whole lot more to explore. It took probably twice as long to explore that map than it did in the first game. And the Easter eggs, the characters, the thugs, the dialogue that you heard while was present in the first game, now they've opened it up and now they have the experience from that, literally in the game narrative and physically making it, that they can question and mention inside this second game, making the world seem like it's continuous and it's alive, sort of thing. So it was much more, to me, it was much more breathable. Like you could walk in or fly in, zoom in, whatever, and it was like, oh shit, it's like so much more to it than the first one. Even though, looking back, because I went to it late, it was a relatively small map and there wasn't a whole lot of enemies in, because by this time they'd brought out really massive games with a lot of NPCs and stuff in. But it was still, compared to the first one, that huge big breath that you could take and see the size of the world. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting why you mentioned a huge world, like because I remember like I'm just like flying around in the city, like, well, it wasn't the full city, like it was only like a part of a section of the city, because like for some reason like the mayor shop decided to just like cordon off like an entire like section of Gotham just to like put thugs in, and I'm like that sounds like an incredibly stupid idea, like, but
it's kind of like the No Man Land comic. Where they blow all the bridges and basically people are trapped on the entire of
it's the same
Gotham.
as Dark Knight Rises when Bane just blows up every bridge and it's just like you're trapped. And now like it literally was, because if you think about it, there's that whole bit where you have like in Batman Dark Knight Rises, it was if I remember rightly, it's Crane, isn't it? Jonathan Crane from the first movie is back, and he's like the main judge. Do you remember? He's like sending people out onto the ice, and it's like you either live or you die. It's like
awesome.
And like people are just
honestly,
dropping
like
into the ice.
Gotham, it's weird. It's so weird. Gotham criminals are kind of like incredibly dangerous and like normal people. They can,
I think that's why people rate Batman's roster so high. He's like got one of the best band of villains out of all comic book and superhero history, just because they're so memorable and they're so unique and they do extreme things. They're not scared of killing people in Batman comics. They're not in others, but I think it stands out more in Batman because of the dark nature of it.
Oh, definitely. Like, because I do want to mention that I'm not sure if anyone's seen like the E3 demo of like of the game, because I remember watching it so many years ago, and I think I watched it about 10 times. Like this is like at the time when I was like really getting into like IGN E3 demos and whatnot, blah blah blah. And I was just watching all this demo, and I was like, oh my day, that's amazing! Like you can go here, you can do that. Yeah, you can interrogate people, and also like I just noticed Sefton when I was looking back through the footage, and Sefton Hill. Do you know who Sefton Hill is? Like, he's the developer of the Arkham series, like the director. I think
I do know.
He looks absolutely young when. Like all those years ago, and I was just like watching through his interview in Arkham Knight, and he's definitely aged quite a bit. Like he's like got a huge beard and everything. Like I don't know. It kind of makes me realize how old how long has passed because it was 2010, 2009, 8 when Arkham Asylum came out.
I actually have that information. Arkham Asylum was released in 2009. Arkham City was released in 2011.
Yeah.
So there was a good gap between them. Good 2-year gap.
It was so long. It's like it's an unbelievable. Like I know, like I've always heard. I know, like all these games. These games are put on are like probably in works for like so many years. In fact, like I think when Arkham Asylum was released, they're probably already working on Arkham City. And
well, they were. They include the Easter egg.
Yeah, I was just going to say there was the Easter
egg. In Quincy Sharp's office, if you blew a part of the wall up, there was no chance of knowing it there. Someone just happened to blow a piece of that wall.
Do you not remember? It took a year for people to find it.
I remember it being a big thing.
And it was only because Rocksteady put up, as a secret account, they put up a video of how to find this, trying to act like somebody discovered it. It was one of their own people. I didn't know that part. Yeah, no, Rocksteady had to actually go and be like, release it and be like, oh yeah, no, tell them this is here. Just tell them this is here.
Get them excited and hyped for the next game.
But I have a question for you guys. Did you guys find the secret in Arkham City? Like
the secret in Arkham City? Are you talking about the boat? The boat? Yeah, I found the boat.
Yeah, the boat. Like
Jonathan Crane's one.
I actually look it up. And I actually went there and put the code in and you just see all like this huge boat with like scarecrows, fear toxins, and
it's the guy on the chair. It's the guy in the chair. Got me. I was like, you bastard.
Oh, it makes you jump. I forgot about it.
I wasn't scared.
But I mean, you can see scarecrows. I think it's on top of like a crane as well, not far from the boat. You fly up there, and it's actually on the floor around some scarecrow, and you can see his mask torn off on the floor. But I definitely had to search the boat one. I didn't know it was there. But I sat through. There's loads of YouTube videos of literally every single Easter egg on Batman Arkham Asylum. A lot of them are regular challenges, but a lot of them are genuinely just hidden things.
See, I have a question. What did you think about the? So obviously you had the character files and stuff again for like everybody in Arkham City.
Yeah.
But what did you think about the change? Do you prefer the way Asylum did it, where it was literally like the comic books? You know, like the way like everybody's character picture was the comic book design. Or did you prefer them starting to give everybody the actual player or like the actual character designs that they had for the game?
It's funny you say that because I mentioned this quite a while ago. Like, and I kind of like it's something I noticed with the entire series, aside from Arkham Origins. But like, it's interesting how like the first game kind of emulated this comic look, like even to like its tone, like. There's this very like a comic book feel to it, like with how Batman and the Joker acts. Even like in the ending, where like Commissioner Gordon was just telling Barbara of like how like we managed to put all the prisoners away, although some will be a lot more painful and whatnot. It felt very light and jokey, but in Arkham City, I feel like the tone has definitely like gotten more serious. Even to me, even Batman feels a lot more serious. Like he does have his moments where like he kind of like has a bit of a gallows humor, like just threatening the inmates. But like it feels like he's a lot more serious and he kind of understands the stakes. But like to answer your question, like I kind of like I think like I'm seeing that happen with the games is definitely like kind of like is another way of showing how the tone is.
It's slightly different. It's not cartoony anymore. Yeah,
definitely, absolutely.
Well, I mean, to jump on it, I mean the question in regards to it, I understand why they did it because obviously the first game they didn't have anything to base off except the comics. I prefer the art style comics because I think you're getting kind of not the best of both of us, but you're kind of getting the game side and the animated, all that kind of side of it, and then you're getting a little bit of the history of where Batman's originally come from.
That's what I mean. Like I liked it for the look of like being able to see how these characters, like if you didn't know what who these characters were, because obviously sometimes with those games, you know, they change the look of a character a wee bit.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can then go back to that character file and be like, oh, this is how it is, because like when you play like. Going back, obviously we're not talking about Asylum, but going back to Asylum with Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Obviously Scarecrow doesn't look how he looks in the comics in the game, but then you go to his character file in Asylum and he looks like the comic book version. You know, you're getting to see how he actually looked originally, and how
you get.
he's changed
It's like
to
a
this.
comparison. You get to compare what they're doing to it and that. And I think like
yeah.
Adam was saying, obviously, once they start developing the game, they start seeing their own style, they start implementing their own changes and characters, and they think, well, now that this is an established part of the universe, and it is, they've got an Arkham series, I think, comic series based off of the thing, and they now feel settled in the universe to be able to say, okay, these are our characters, this is what we're doing, this is what was done in the first game, but now we're moving on from there, and this is how it goes, sort of thing. But I definitely loved it, and like they do change the characters moving forward. I mean, Harley Quinn, obviously, she's always unpredictable, and you don't know what she's gonna be wearing and stuff. But people like Killer Croc, they change his look, especially for, I know we're not on about it yet, but for Origins, they change it, and I mean, you've seen how they do it in Suicide Squad and stuff. But they've changed it over so many different things. It's nice to see different aspects of it. I would definitely prefer the comic look of it, but I'm fine with what they did, and I know why. But I always like to know, and plus they gave you like the comic issues when they first appeared and stuff, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I always found was cool.
Because I think if you ever connect to this character and you really want to know the character's origins,
you
can track down that issue and try and buy it or research it, and it's all there for you. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, because once I found out about what issue Batman was in, I searched up Detective Comics, and the Batman look, and it's so weird to see, because I think Detective Comics wasn't exactly like a Batman type story. I think it was meant to be like comics about like just detectives just solving cases. I think at least that's what I got the impression of when I read them ages ago.
No,
like, because he didn't.
As far as I'm aware,
that's misremembering.
It's the same way as with Superman. There was never originally a Superman comic. It was the Action Comics.
Yeah.
But it was but you just went, because if you go back, it's Detective Comics #1 is when Batman first shows up.
1939, I think.
Was it Detective Comics #1?
I think.
I like how I'm saying this, and I'm like, sorry.
Let me have a look.
And it's the same with like Action Comics #1 was Superman's first appearance, as far as I know, and then obviously it spread on to these characters outgrew those comics and had their own stuff later down the line. At least I think so. I could be wrong.
I think you might be wrong.
I probably am.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I thought like in Detective came in.
Batman came in on issue 27.
27, right? Okay.
Yeah, like that's. I
Still
remember it wasn't issue #1.
Yeah, it was. It was. I got the year right. It was 1939. But I think you are very right in the fact that like the change in style and stuff. I mean, have you actually read the first comic? Because there's an app you can get, the DC Comic app, where you can actually download, and you have to pay for some of them, but there is a few free ones. And I think the first ever comic is one of the free ones, and you read it, and his car's very car-like. It's not Batmobile.
Yeah.
His wings, his cape's more like wings.
It's
his
like right here, isn't it?
Outfit's very camp and stuff. You know, he's got a bit of purple in him and stuff like that. You can read the black and white version.
Camp? Why is purple? Fuck you.
No. I don't mean camp as in like, you know what I mean. I think it's very.
You trigger Gavin.
No, if we're using like the oldie terms, it's a very queer outfit in the sense that unusual. It's unusual. I don't want to offend anyone.
There's quite. I do want to talk about the
who's
old
signature
Batman
colour.
comics and like some interesting stuff like the Bat-Bed in the future. I'm not sure you guys know about it, but like I'll definitely discuss it. But like
I've been invited to it a few times.
Bragging over there
Just
in
on
the corner.
other, yeah.
Batman invited me round to the Bat-Bed. Fuck you guys.
What, like a Batman? You're cheating with Batman with
I think you're going way too far into it.
You're getting way too.
Yeah, we're getting way too far into it.
I'll give the details later when we're not recording.
But like, I kind of want to talk about the story, because obviously like the story like it's a lot different now, because instead of like the villain being the joke, well, not really it's the Joker like having his way with Arkham Asylum. It's now like we're dealing with like not just one but two antagonists. Well, three antagonists in the game, and it's kind of interesting. And I think like the sequel kind of does this thing with what a lot of sequels do, where like they try like up the ante, like increase the stakes by like, instead of like double, like make things like a lot more harder for you. So what did you guys think about the story? Because when I researched this, I found like, and I kind of agree with it, but but like the story did have like a very mixed reception, unlike the first game. It's like some like different opinions.
Like I'm now trying to go through my head and remember the actual full story of the game. Like,
I could give you a refresh if you want.
Like I know the whole basis is the whole. Obviously, you show up to try and deal with it, to try and bring some sort of order to Arkham City.
Mm-hmm.
You then do a couple missions. You get Black Cat away from Two-Face.
Catwoman.
Yeah, sorry, Black Cat. I was thinking Spider-Man too much.
I was gonna say, I thought, hang on, that's not right.
The old switcheroo.
Free Catwoman from Two-Face. Then she almost gets shot by a sniper. You go find the sniper. You find out it's Joker. Joker's dying with fucking his shitty toxin gas from the first game. He then poisons you. You then have to find a cure. You then have to beat the crap out of... You have to do a couple things to try and get the cure off of Mr. Freeze, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
You have to
He's been working on a cure for it.
You then have to deal with his shitty boss fight. Some people love that boss fight. I didn't.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
I like the fact that he made you have to do different things.
Well, that's just gonna
destroy him.
say, like, don't get me wrong. I like the whole aspect of him, of the game being like, right, you have to learn how to do all of these different things to beat this boss. And me being obviously, if you have watched any of my streams where I fucking have to do a boss fight, I don't do well with how games are supposed to be played. I don't do that at all.
Oh, that's put it lightly. And it's kind of interesting, like the boss fight, especially. Like I think Mr. Freeze's boss fight was kind of like Rockstar telling the people who loved the first game, "We listen to you guys, and we're gonna show you that we can do boss fights a lot better." And to be honest with you, like they did improve on the boss. They did keep their word. They improved on the boss fights. When you fight people like Solomon Grundy, Killer Croc, not Killer Croc. He's only a cameo in it. I was thinking of Ra's al Ghul, and
that's one
honestly,
hell of a character to mix up. Ra's al Ghul,
very similar.
The demon head, or
to be honest, it's so weird because like Ra's al, thanks to Batman Begins, like I'm now like conflicted with saying, is it Ra's al Ghul or is it Ra's al Ghul?
Do you know what's even worse?
Do
you know what's even worse? Have any of you watched the CW shows like The Arrow and The Flash?
How do they pronounce? I think I know what you mean. Go on.
It's like Raish. It's Raish for them. Raz, and then it's like they call him Raish, and then there's Raz, and then there's another.
I've heard race before, but I call him Raz. Raz al Ghul.
So it's Raz.
You said race.
So it's Raz, Riz or Race, and then
Race.
Like. I can't remember. Now my brain's fried.
Raj,
yeah.
Raj, Riz, or Riz. Something like that.
But like literally, if you just like look up a random clip of like the Arrowverse and then like put in Ra's al Ghul and like just listen to how they say his name, it just adds to the confusion of this man's name.
Yeah.
To us, I do need to watch the shows. Like ever since like Keenan told me about the show, and especially there was a scene where like Dick Grayson goes, "Fuck Batman," and I was kind of like really interested in it because I don't keep up with the CW shows. Like,
but that's
I
not
watched
CW.
a bit of Gotham.
As far as I know,
that's Netflix.
Titan isn't CW.
Oh, Titan isn't CW.
No.
Actually, it is Netflix. I don't think it is Netflix.
In America,
it's published on Netflix.
It's published on Netflix for us, but in America, I think it's Fox or somebody else.
Fox. I think it is a different one. I know they've got it on. I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Ignore me. But yeah, Titans is a great series. But obviously, what I would say to anyone is that while Titans is a good series, it does
have its flaws.
Oh, 100%, 100%. The casting is pretty good. I actually haven't started season 2, and it is on Netflix.
I still need to finish season 1. I'm like halfway through season 1. I'm just like, I need to get back to this.
Season 1 is pretty good.
I haven't watched that also. Like, this is all new to me.
I thought you said you'd go into it.
No, like that was Gotham, not Titans.
Oh, sorry, I think you lagged out with my headset when you said it. Gotham's pretty good. I did start watching that a few seasons in, just because it started going really. No, I think I know the ending.
You need to finish it.
Yeah, I need to go back, but I just think it went completely off the rails. Yeah, it just went a bit weird for me, and I know some seasons are stronger than others and stuff like that. But anyway, go back to it then, Adam. You were mentioning the 3 protagonists and the story and what we thought. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like antagonists, you mean? And I
Antagonist,
think I
yeah.
agree that because I think the issue with the game was in the game story was the villains were unbalanced personally, because because I think Hugo Strange and Protocol 10, which was kind of like
I keep forgetting he's in that
prison
game.
based.
I keep forgetting he's in that game.
What, Hugo Strange, the man who's about to reveal Batman's biggest secret?
Literally, I remember.
Yeah, like
He's like, oh, that one. Oh, I know what you mean now. Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit weird because I think obviously in the trailers and in the marketing they wanted to hype him up as being this huge enemy. However, the issue was because Batman kind of like we do on so many occasions, he kind of gets distracted with the Joker because the Joker poisoned him, and for the next next few hours of the game, it's more focused on Batman trying to get the cure and stop Joker, and it's kind of, and I think that's why Hugo Strange kind of lost his interest for a lot of people, because obviously he had his he was kind of like a looming threat almost, because as you go through the game he's Protocol 10 commences in 10 hours and whatnot.
It's a constant countdown as you plan through the game, yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but unfortunately you don't really interact with him. Hell, you don't even fight the Tiger Guards until nearly when you get to after he initiates Protocol 10.
Whenever you have to get to the tower, that's when you have to deal with all of them.
Yeah, you never fight the Tiger Guards, and I think that's probably even I still love Batman Arkham City, but even I can admit I think Hugo Strange is definitely weak, and more attention was paid and they wanted more focus to the Joker, because
it's not
I think that's I honestly think they're scared.
It's not
that in a way that, because Joker is Batman's nemesis in a way, so they can't really change it up, to be honest with in a way, and I think if they do try to change it, I think they risk of alienating the fan base. At least that's what I think. I'm not speaking as a huge comic book nerd who's gone through DC, but I'm not sure what you guys think about it.
I think the main problem it suffered with as well is they did, once again, going back to Dark Knight Rises, they did the dumb switcheroo thing of, we have this villain, he's the head villain. He's the man. They make this guy seem like he's a mastermind.
And he's not.
And then at the very end, they turn around and go, "Oh yeah, no, it was Ra's al Ghul did the whole Raz Race or whatever." But you know what I mean.
Talia al Ghul, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It was an Al Ghul was the one behind the whole Protocol 10. I'm referring to Hugo for this bit. Raz is the man behind.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Hugo. Same way with Bane, Bane's this big bad guy, he's got all the brain power, blah blah blah. They made him because people hated how much Bane's been portrayed in other genres or other media. They make this film, it makes it seem like he's the perfect version, and then at the very end they turn around and go, "Oh, he was just following orders from Talia." You're like, stop it, just give us a character as a main villain and let us have it.
I mean, just listening to that. I completely understand. I get it. I agree on some level. But I think the reason, and this isn't going into the whole joke thing, but the reasoning behind the use of Hugo Strange and Ra's al Ghul together, and then Bane and other people together, is that I think if you broke down Batman's villains into classes, some definitely need support. Not because they wouldn't be able to be dangerous by themselves, but because in the situation they've been put in, they wouldn't survive. So Hugo Strange, for example, a massive intellect, absolutely huge intellect, could really shatter a lot of lives, kill people, all this kind of stuff. But I don't think that he would have the ability to impact as many people as he could and stuff. So obviously with Raz, whatever, they've got all that. He's got all them connections in terms of the demon, all the underground and all that kind of stuff with him, sort of thing. Same with Bane and Talia. I understand. It was a little annoying. To be fair, Dark Knight Rises is not my favourite.
It's not my favourite.
It's actually, I'd put it in third. I would literally say I prefer Dark Knight Begins than that one.
See, mine's swapped. Mine's obviously number one is Dark Knight, but it's then Rise and then Begins.
I go back to that originality thing. The first
Yeah, you
one
just
to me,
prefer
the
the first one,
establishing one.
Yeah, I love.
I
Origin
I
Story.
understand that it's not popular for a lot of people though. But I just feel that those characters definitely in the spot. I do think that they do rely on Joker a lot, but like you said, Adam, he is Batman's arch nemesis. He's his most famous one. He's number A class on the roster. He has control manipulation of every other villain because he doesn't care where the other villains have a lot of them, not all of them, have that little bit that makes them think, I don't want to die, I don't want things to happen.
But then, can I just to be like the devil on the shoulder here?
No,
devil
go on.
advocate.
Yeah.
Go into a game that I absolutely adore and a character I absolutely adore. Spider-Man, PS4.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Who would you say is Spider-Man's arch nemesis?
For me,
Other than, I know you're probably gonna say Venom. I don't count Venom.
I actually wasn't. I was going to say the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin, yeah.
I was.
That's what I would say.
Venom is a symbiote. He's an entity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that he can be used for good. We've seen Venom in comics and cartoons turn good, so I wouldn't say he's necessarily bad. But obviously, and I'm sure Vulture in certain
scenarios,
issues and stuff has done that. But the not Vulture, sorry, Green Goblin. The Green Goblin, I think, is just, I've always seen him as being Spider-Man's worst. He can fly. He's got the intellect. He's kind of like, he's got that connection to Spider-Man through Harry. And the fact that they're kids, and then obviously in some versions Harry becomes Hobgoblin. After Norman dies and stuff. So I would say that.
But just to go from that point, what the point I was trying to make from here is, obviously, the Batman Arkham games focus so much on the Joker.
Yeah.
It's the one reason I love what they did with Spider-Man is, like, don't get me wrong, like, they tease it obviously with Spider-Man, they've teased it. But they did an entire game without actually having the Green Goblin or the Venom, any of those big name villains that people think of. Like, obviously they had Doc Ock in the Sinister Six, but they added. But like, what I mean is, like, when you think of Spider-Man, your instant thought is Venom and
Green
Goblin. Like, and they didn't touch on them at all. Obviously, they gave like a secret video at the end. The tease
with
for the
Harry
segment.
and the vat and stuff, and
they tease bits of like the Green Goblin, but like they did an entire game without doing that, and I love that for it. Whereas Batman, as much as I love the Batman games focus so much on the Joker.
But that's they did try and fix that in obviously Dark Knight, where they thought, Scarecrow, still a high profile villain, but people see him as weak. He's got a bit of cloud dust, Gotham.
Oh, you mean
all that kind of shit? Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so they tried to do that, but obviously, like you said, in the first game, that Spider-Man did what they tried to do in the third game.
Yeah.
So obviously, by that time, it was like, okay, now they kill. I think the reason, and if anyone is worried about spoilers at this point, the games are very old. So, in Arkham City, I think that's one of the prime reasons they killed off the Joker, and I think a lot of people thought it wouldn't work in Arkham Knight. Obviously, spoiler alert for Arkham Knight, Joker he's dead, but he's still in the game, and still quite a large part of it.
That's something that
we'll get to that in the next episode.
I was going to say, let's not jump down that rabbit hole, but
I have a lot of opinions on that point. But like, Marvel's, I don't know, like, you talk about Spider-Man, and like, I'm not sure, like, I don't know, obviously, like, I don't want to like touch on it too much, but like, because I do want to like discuss Spider-Man, because I do like, of all the Marvel heroes, I do like Spider-Man a lot.
You have
personally, he's one of my favorites.
He's the best.
I think definitely he does go with he does like touch the boyhood in.
I was like, where's this going? Don't you start getting Spider-Man in trouble, giving out rumors that he's touching boys. Don't do this to me.
Oh god, we gotta get that on like.
I'm good with words.
That's gotta be social media. That
one. I promise.
It's gotta be social media.
We're gonna have Tom Holland knocking on your door, being like, "Here, mate, what are you saying about me?"
Tom, then Tobey Maguire behind him. Yeah, what you doing? Andrew Garfield at the gate, like, hi, I'm also Spider-Man.
I was here for a while.
Oh my days! But like, I think going back to like all the villains, and you were saying, Keen, about the roster, like they've definitely tried to like not only like include more of the roster, like through not just in the main mission but also in the side missions, because I already mentioned Solomon Grundy, Ra's al Ghul, but there's also like those like Mad Hatter, Azrael, there's also Poison Ivy and Catwoman if you got the DLC, which I do want to touch on,
And Penguin.
but I'll leave it for later. But like well, yeah, what did you guys think of the inclusion of all the new roster, new people from the Rogues Gallery?
I liked it. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of like even obviously not like he's not new, but like the Zaz missions where you're chasing down the phones, like all those sort of like side character missions were just amazing.
That is
I
one
really
one thing that the Arkham games got right. They made the side missions actually feel important as
Yeah.
well as like
Like
it's
the
like,
Hush-
oh
the
shit,
Hush-
a bomb's gonna go off. Go
the
and
Hush-
do it. The Hush one was
yeah.
great. The Hush one was really good.
Yeah, like it's amazing how like true to the characters they were. Like I remember just like like you were saying, Gavin, with like just like the phone tapping, like just while I was like tracking him, I was really fascinated by like Zaz's story because he is.
I'm constantly
even though
waiting
he's
for the phone to ring so I can get more of the story. I'm like, what happened though?
Yeah, because I didn't realize that Zaz was such a tragic character, like in a way, like because he obviously he didn't really. It's not like something that he planned on becoming, but like he's kind of like a victim of circumstances in the sort. So just learning
But to
about
be
all
fair,
that and
like, would you not say that is a lot of Batman's characters if you think about it?
I was just about to say they try and make him relatable.
you know that is actually true. Like,
Tiny
I
bit.
actually just realized.
Make you feel sorry for them a tiny bit
Just
and
a
think,
bit.
oh shit, I can see why that's happening. I don't agree with it, but I can see
Put it this way.
how that would cause it
Put
to
it this
happen.
way: take the line from The Killing Joke.
All it takes is one bad day. That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day. You had a bad day once, am I right? Oh, I know I am. I can tell. You had a bad day and everything changed. Dressing up like a flying rat doesn't hide it, it screams it. You had a bad day and it drove you as crazy as everybody else, only you won't admit it. You have to keep pretending that life makes sense, that there's some point to all this struggling. You make me wanna puke.
You're not the good guy anymore. You're suddenly the villain. Or
That's
you're-
why I killed all those people at work the other day. But
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's
exactly.
besides the point.
That's why Rambles actually, why Kane's
They
actually
mispaid
on the
me.
run.
I got really annoyed. So I mean, that's why I'm doing this, and I
We
have my
haven't
bags
gone on
packed,
maths
and I'm about
'cause
to
you
run. No, but I do. I mean, that's exactly true. They make the villains a little bit relatable. Not that we would go psychopath, but they make them so they were human. I mean, I'm sure this would be spoiled, so I'm not going to spoil this. But have you guys seen Joker, the film?
No, fuck you.
Right, I would. It's now out on digital to buy.
I know it is. I'm
you might wait to
contemplating
rent.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Like,
I would highly recommend buying it because one, it puts him, which they've done in comics and they've done with other villains and stuff. And I know we're talking about all the villains, but it puts him in a realistic standpoint. This was a man, and again, not spoiling. This is a struggling man, which I'm sure we've all struggled financially and stuff.
Yeah.
He's struggling with an illness, which I'm sure a lot of people struggle with. Mental, not necessarily physical, shown illness, and you think, well. It makes you feel sorry for him at times, and you think, "Oh my God, we're talking about the Joker here. In the books. He's killed a woman naked when there's loads of babies around. That happens in the comics and stuff, and they're crawling all over. He takes pictures. It's disgusting. And then they create the character in an alternative way, which they do in lots of different comic series, and you feel sorry for him, and you feel, oh, this man's messed up. He needs help, but at the same time, you want the vigilante, the hero, to take him down. And I think they do that, like you said, with a lot of villains. With Penguin's story, in some of the variations, he was tossed out as a child due to deformities or due to whatever.
Or there's the whole
Batman Returns. That was a lot of memories.
Or there was the other. I think is it the canon sort of story they give him is the whole thing of. At least I'm pretty sure it is in the Arkham games anyway. Is the whole thing of his family were the big family of Gotham. Until the Waynes showed up, and the Waynes took everything.
Oh, you talking about Hush? Sorry.
No, not Hush.
No, Hush was a friend of Bruce Wayne's, but Penguin is an
Penguin,
Oswald family. They were.
Penguin. Oh, Penguin.
The Oswald family were like the big head honchos of Gotham for years, and then the Waynes showed up and basically overthrew them.
That's highlighted a lot in the Telltale games in the first series.
Yeah.
That's really good to follow that storyline. I really enjoyed that part of the game. I thought that was pretty good.
Like I've seen season 1, and obviously like the Telltale games, they've like
season 2 is amazing.
Like unlike the Arkham games, which kind of like stuck with the comics for a bit, and it quickly withered away. I think Telltale Games kind of like really flat out said like this is nothing like the comics. It's a very different world where things are different.
It is. Again though. I haven't played the second season. I have it. I don't want it spoiling. I know it's very old, and I know I've just said it. I don't care if I spoil it for people. I would love for people not to spoil this for me.
Time for revenge.
Yeah, but
just don't look at the comments.
In terms of the Telltale games, especially the first season, and like you said, the fact that they just threw everything out the window. There are elements in that obviously are in comics. When we talk about comics, the amount of issues and different story arcs that Batman's had, it's hard to think of an original one that's completely different.
We'll get onto it in the next episode, but one of the issues I had with Arkham Knight was the whole Arkham Knight's an original character. No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
The name
100%.
Arkham Knight is an original character, but the person behind it isn't.
The Arkham Knight. I mean, like you said, he's not original. It's just a different variation until that point where you think, oh, it's him.
That character.
You were that character all along, but now we just give you a different name.
Yeah.
This is definitely stuff I do want to talk about in.
We'll elaborate on it more in the third episode. But.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But like, I do want to elaborate on another character though, like, and that's Catwoman, because this is here, like in Arkham Asylum, they tried to do Arkham City. They tried to do something different by like introducing a new playable character. Like, I'm not sure if you guys played as Catwoman.
Well, see, this is what I was going to ask.
Yep.
So the only version of City I've ever played were the Game of the Year versions. So I had the Game of the Year version for the Xbox 360 when it came out, and then I obviously had the Return to Arkham version for PS4, which gives you the DLCs anyway. Is the Catwoman stuff in the original game, or is it DLC?
It's DLC.
It was DLC.
All right, okay. That's all right. That's
you know that I actually was surprised because I went with my dad to like get it because his mate had like a game shop at the time, and we sometimes go to just like get some games. Like, it was kind of cool, although he doesn't have it anymore. He had to close shop, but like I didn't realize that you have to like get a DLC for it. And on a bit of a tangent, like we also had some like cool game posters as well. Like he actually gave me some game posters, which was pretty cool. I had them hung up on a wall, but my mum tore them down because she didn't like me having like posters up there, because I think it was like one poster was of like
did you have nudie posters?
Batman and Harley Quinn.
Did you have nudie posters?
No, nothing like that. But like
there were posters up on your wall. Your mum had to come in and be like, no, Adam.
You're corrupted. No, striking them down.
I don't know, like, because like they were just like one of them was Batman and Harley Quinn, and the other one was just Catwoman on it. I don't know. I really like those posters. I'm kind of annoyed that she kind of took them down.
So she took them down because there was just women in tight clothing, basically.
Yeah. I had a weird childhood, but like I don't know, just seeing Catwoman for the first time and just being able to play her, that was really fascinating to me because they put a lot of effort into like making Catwoman as different as to like playing Batman, because playing as Batman, your punches were a lot heavier, like because as you know, Batman's is a bit of a brawler in his you could literally feel how hard he's hitting the enemies.
100%. He's 6 foot odd and he's built like a brick
house. But
did
they not, if I remember rightly, did they not make like, obviously Batman's a heavy hitter, so he's a little bit slow in comparison to Catwoman. So when you play as Catwoman, a lot of her moves are faster. You're obviously not doing as much damage per hit, but you're hitting a lot quicker and a lot more hits are going in. If that
you also have extended help of the whip and stuff as well.
Yeah, you just whip everyone into submission. I just made that weird, didn't I?
I knew exactly where you were going with it. As soon as you started saying whip, I'm like, don't go there, don't do it.
Oh my days! But like but I was disappointed that they did make it DLC. I'm guessing this was like a Warner Brothers decision, because this was at a time when, like, I wouldn't say DLC was coming in, but like there was a bit of like a different attitude towards DLC.
I do want to stick up for him a little bit at that time. Obviously, that wasn't the like DLC expansion.
It's not what it is now. It isn't what it is now. Like.
Exactly, and the actual DLC that they provide, the Catwoman one, it was a lengthy piece of DLC. It wasn't here's 1 or 2 side quests, go and do it. If I remember right,
it added to the story. To be fair,
yeah,
it wasn't just
it wasn't. You didn't need it to finish. oh no, my light's
Yeah.
down. You didn't need it to finish, and you didn't get conned by buying it. You had more things to play with and stuff. It was a time where DLC was much more accepted, and much more of a liked thing.
Can I just say though, like from things you have discussed before, to do with DLC, Keen. Sorry, I should have been more specific on who I was referring to there. We're in a three-way call. Yes. But no, so like I've heard you say before, you're not a fan of skins as DLC.
I'm not. No.
But the Batman games are 90% skins.
Yeah, they
DLC.
are. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. What I mean by that is I'm against, like, I think people can buy as many skins as they want. I personally can't, unless it adds something to the character of the game, whatever. I can't personally fork over any amount of money for a skin.
Right.
And that's one thing that Arkham games did really well. They released a lot of the skins for free. Mm-hmm. They released the Ben Affleck one for the Justice League and all that kind of stuff, Batman vs Superman, for free after a while in the Arkham Knight, and it looked awesome.
So is that new one
same with
out,
Batmobile and stuff.
Is that new one just?
Yeah, this is the thing.
Like...
So again, at the time of making this episode, the games have been released for a long while. Rockstar said they're not releasing it, but they have been teasing a new game with the Court of Owls as the main villains. And they very recently tweeted out.
Have you not heard about the other person that's possibly in the game again as well, though?
I may have done.
No, I'm not aware.
They're going back to the Demon Clan, Raish.
Oh, I think no, I don't think I have.
Really? There's a video of whenever they reveal the Court of Owls logo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a video where like it swaps and there's a demon head logo for like.
Oh, I remember something with multiple logos.
For like
I didn't see that.
Second of like the Court of Owls logo turns to a demon head, and you're like.
That would be good. I think I like that, and the fact that obviously now that they're teasing that and they're releasing skins, it does obviously indicate there's one Rex that is definitely still working on Batman stuff.
Time of recording this, we're not far away from the PlayStation 5 announcement thing with Sony.
Oh, right.
I have money. I say I have money. I haven't actually made a bet in real life on this yet, but I could probably put money on the fact that they will reveal the Batman game at that PlayStation 5 reveal. 4 games.
If they do,
four
then I'm
games
going to
coming
buy
out
it.
for the PlayStation 5. They will 100% say there's a Batman game coming out for the new generation of consoles.
If 100%. That's the case, then they'll most likely say that, unless they've got a deadline when they say we can't release it before this time, and then obviously it just happens to fall around when the Sony press releases. Obviously, I think it probably be one of those things where PS5 gets to play this a week early.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying that it's gonna be like a launch title with it, but I just think they'll maybe drop it, being like, the PlayStation 5's coming out. Here's a list of games you can look forward to with PlayStation 5, and they'll maybe do like a splash of like Batman's new game coming out. People are hoping they're going to announce a God of War and a Spider-Man, but I don't know. I don't know if they will right away.
I can't see Spider-Man being this close to the Avengers.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I could see God of War though.
I could see God of War.
It's definitely been a year.
It's been 2 years. It's been the same amount of time for Spider-Man.
No. But what I mean is, I think they'll be wanting to tie probably Spider-Man in, and Spider-Man, for all we know, could appear in Avengers. So it's kind of like the whole thing that if they release a film trailer before the end of another film that character appears in, you kind of know what happens.
Yeah.
So
what do you mean? You mean like what they literally did with the
Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home. They added that trailer to the end of Avengers.
Yeah, it was kind of like it's a bit crappy, but yeah, I think that's probably why we'll probably not hear from Spider-Man. I hope we do, but I can't see it.
I know,
personally.
like I can't see it either, but that's the rumors. Are people are hoping for a God of War 2 announcement and a Spider-Man 2 announcement.
Yeah,
and obviously a Batman.
There's definitely a lot of news with Batman, and especially like when we talk about Batman Arkham Knight, because there's definitely a lot of stuff I want to talk about, like my disappointments with that. But like,
you're lagging.
I think we did touch on this earlier, but like I want to like ask you guys what did you guys think of the Joker dying in this in the game? Like when you saw like that final scene where where he's carrying
the
Joker
him out.
like when you see that, and to be honest with you, honestly, when I saw the Joker in those final moments, I was like, you could see how like dead serious is what he was when he was like when he literally threatened Batman to get the cure. Like he was not messing around. He was not having a laugh at all. Like you can literally see like his almost anger and his fear of dying because like he did not want to die.
You also got to remember the fact that like people always go on about the whole thing of, oh my god, they killed the Joker. They also then moments before that killed Talia al Ghul like in front of Batman.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I remember. It sounds daft because Joker's such a ironically, he's such a lovable character.
Yeah,
or loved character. I actually felt more sad when Talia went, even though they made Joker's death really sad and really like impactful. I felt, oh shit, if people knew a little bit of the history, which a lot of people do, but obviously Talia and Bruce have a thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
They see it. They have a son.
Yeah,
in versions of it. Yeah, so it's
a bit of a dick.
It's a massive one, but it's. Yeah, definitely. I think they did brush over it a little bit. But with Joker's death, I mean, it was kind of like is it in the Killing Joke? Oh, I don't think it's in the Killing Joke. But, no, it's not the Killing Joke. They allude to killing him in that, don't they? But they don't show it. But it's kind of like the whole thing that you mentioned.
Did the writer not actually come out and say he did die?
I think it's still speculation.
No, like...
I could have sworn there was something recently came out about, like, somebody confirmed, no, he is... He was killed.
But can you really confirm something that's not on the screen?
Yeah, that's not shown. Yeah,
it's like, well, you can see it. It's like me saying, well, no, Batman grew wings and flew away, but you just didn't see it. It's that kind of thing. I like the idea that he. It sounds. Sorry, I like it that he did kill him.
The Joker did die in one thing though. The Joker has.
Oh yeah, Injustice.
He died.
Oh yeah,
he died in Dark Knight.
What? He died in what? What?
In the Dark Knight Returns.
The
Dark Knight
Frank
Returns,
Miller comic.
the Frank Millers.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of films. I was going through films.
They did the film too. They did the animated film.
Yeah, didn't he?
I thought you meant live action.
He gets stabbed in the eye with a batarang, and then he cracks his own neck to death. And I'm like, you're a strange fellow, but all right.
But
like.
Because that's where they got that. Is that not where they got the scene for the Joker movie? Was from the Dark Knight from the Dark Knight Returns, where he's on the talk show. Yeah, that's the one bit I've seen of the movie.
Wait, hang on. The end.
Is that the end?
Well, it's not. I don't know which part you've seen.
Where Joaquin
Does
Phoenix
he stand up?
I've seen the bit where a character dies by Joaquin Phoenix on television.
Sorry, I'm not going to give anything away. And I'm not going to add to that. Yes. But that's not to say what I said was right or wrong.
It's not to say I'm right or wrong either.
The game show comes up multiple times throughout the film, so that's why I was confused. Yeah. That's all I'll say. Because I definitely suggest watching it to everyone. A lot of people don't like it, but I love the film.
I've heard it's amazing. I've heard it's amazing. Like I don't know.
Depends what kind of. It's very. It's not super fast paced.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's not an actual superhero movie. Like don't be going into this movie thinking it's a superhero
in this world, Bruce Wayne exists.
But he's like 10, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a small boy. And
because I have a theory about that.
Well,
about his timing and
I'll save it for the Joker episode.
You guys need to watch it. We need to make an episode on it. Yes, I will lead that one because I love that film. It's weird. I don't want to go too much on about it anymore. But one thing I will say is that they throw something in there, and you're like, shit, this is weird. I don't know why they've done this, and then it messes with your mind a little bit. Like, well, is that true, or is this person lying? Is this person telling? You know what I mean? It does that to you.
Yeah.
Definitely worth watching.
I'm not probably gonna buy this tonight and watch it tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna message you and be like, I hate everything.
It's a good film. At the end, it's.
I don't mean I hate the movie, but I'll just be like,
no.
I know.
No. Like, we don't want any spoilers.
You're not going to get spoilers. You're not going to get spoilers.
Saying,
all I'm saying, my personal perspective when I came away at the end is that it's weird because obviously you've got this villain, and I'm not going to say what happens or what he does, but at the end of the film, I was like, good for them.
Good for them.
Like, well, that's it. But with the things that happen, you're like, why? That's psychotic that you would think that, but it's definitely something good. But yeah, let's jump back to Arkham.
Back to Arkham, Arkham City.
I'm definitely gonna be watching that film, but like, but I just want to touch on one last thing before we finish it, because I think we can talk about loads of things with Arkham City, like maybe that's like
I have a question
Riddler
for the end
and
as well.
all that. Yeah. But like, I'm not sure what you guys thought of the the change for one bit of foreshadowing for Arkham Knight, and that was Harley's pregnancy.
Oh, fuck! I forgot about that.
Yeah, like for those who don't know, like what happened was like if you go into like the Joker's main room, there's like this pregnancy test and you assume like it was done by Harley, and
It's not
it
going to be
says
done by
it
the
was
Joker, is it?
Joker's just buying them and pissing on them for a laugh, being like,
it turns out yes, testicular cancer. You guys don't know what that means, but like it turns out it was positive, and if you like watch the credits, Harley is like singing this.
she sings a nursery rhyme, doesn't she?
Nursery rhyme, and like
Really
it kind of alludes to the idea that maybe Harley might be pregnant with Joker's child, and it could be like a very interesting thing because. And I was like, when I first saw it, I was like actually hyped, but then like the DLC.
I was just gonna say, did the DLC not address this though? Whenever you play as Robin.
Yeah, like but like they changed it all because like it wasn't because Arkham City and Arkham City was written by Paul Dini. However, that DLC was not written by Paul Dini. I'm not sure who written it, but like basically it was just this extra story where like all the police were just taking all the Blackgate prisoners and political prisoners away, and what happened was like and they were trying like take Harley away, but like for some reason somehow Harley managed to kidnap Bruce Batman and trapped him, and it's just Robin like just trying to get save him basically. And I think they changed like a lot. And if you go back to the that Joker room, the pregnancy test now says negative. The DLC, they kind of explained that she had a miscarriage, apparently. So like I'm not sure what you guys' thoughts on like just changing stuff like that, because I do think that did affect the series in the future.
I think it was, to be honest, I think it was a safer bet, only for the fact that I don't really think you could have Harley the way Harley is in Arkham Knight if she's got she's either, because how long has it been a year between Arkham City and Arkham?
I'll find out.
It's been 12. I think it was like 6 to 12 months.
Yeah,
like,
it's not even like a full year, near enough by the time.
Yeah.
Because you open. We'll talk about it more, but you open Arkham Knight with the burning of the Joker. You're cremating the Joker.
That was chilling. Have you played it on the hardcore mode or whatever it is?
Yeah, that was that was it.
But like, I don't think you could have Harley in that game if she's almost about to give birth or dealing with like a 3-month-old kid.
It's set 1 year after.
1 year. So you'd be dealing with basically a
new mum.
A new mum and like a baby that's like 4 or 5 months old. Like you would.
I think it was a nice little thing for like detail for them to put in. Not like that it was nice what happened or anything.
Yeah,
or
but it's just
happen.
Yeah.
It was a nice little thing that they put in that not many people would have picked up on, for one.
Yeah.
And that two, it just adds to the backstory of what
the lore of the game. Yeah.
And it makes you feel sorry for the characters, like we were discussing earlier, and also two, like they're human. It makes you realize that they're just as human as we are, and that terrible things can happen to them that can push them further down that psychotic hole and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember, like cause I do think it's also part of like it was because Paul Dini definitely has like creative artistic decisions with Harley Quinn, because he did create Harley Quinn, and but like I don't know. It's a bit. I kind of find it disappointing that they kind of like retconned it. Like I think that's what it basically was. They kind of retconned that idea. Like all it, but like I was just thinking to myself, like even now, like how interesting would it be? Like maybe like seeing like a new like this child become
but then that goes down the line of that's the other problem with dealing with a kid. Like depending on how far you wanted to go down that path of like having this kid then be a part, like having this baby eventually become part of all of the games further down the line, you then have to think of the whole, I don't know if you've ever read the Blood Brothers books or the book Blood Brothers. No. We had to do it for English literature. it's a decent. It's actually a pretty good. It's like a play and stuff, but it's a really good book. But it deals with this whole idea of this mother had twins. She couldn't afford to keep both, so she keeps one and puts one up for adoption. The one that gets adopted by a rich posh family, and the other kid stays with her.
Yeah.
The other kid, eventually down the line, these two kids meet. The kids meet when they're young, and become best friends, never finding out that they're actually related. Yeah. Until they're a lot older, but basically, they become best friends. Blah blah. Live their whole lives becoming friends, and then eventually are told they're actually brothers by blood, not just by being best friends. Like, and basically it's this whole thing of like them hating each other because that kid was chosen to have a life where he got to have the best life ever, and the other guy resents his brother because he got to actually be with his real mum. All this sort of stuff. But it also, the whole topic of the book is about nature versus nurture, which is are we determined, like, are our personalities and how we're meant to be determined before we're ever born? So, like, was I always destined to be like this? Or did the things that happened in my life change me to be this?
I didn't study it for long, but I did study psychology a little bit in college.
Yeah.
And that was a huge part of it, like absolute child rearing and bringing up and all that kind of stuff. We went into a lot of that. Different types of personalities from children that were displaying. Like one set of children could be in a different room to the parent and be absolutely fine. Another set absolutely balled out and wanted them to be in the room with them, and how they're raised and stuff. Personally, I'm more on the nurture side. I think you reflect on your upbringing.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm the same, but that's
I get what you mean. Yeah,
it's that thing
it's
of
funny you bring that up because like it's funny you bring that up because like what I think happens, like how I imagined it, because like imagine being and to be fair, I think you can probably say to a lot of the rogues gallery in a way, because we do say they are a victim of circumstances. And I do think some of the villains do like fall into this, but like you can imagine a child of Joker just growing up and realizing that the reason why he doesn't know his dad is because of the Batman. This person, this thing to him, kind of just did something so horrific, even though he's revered as being this huge savior. He did something that's horrific. I just killed his dad, and in that way, who knows what that could do to a kid like that.
At the same time, it all depends as well on. We all know, yes, Harley's mental, but
I think I know where you're going. I think she'd be a good mother,
because you got to remember how quickly she changed from being this perfectly nice doctor to becoming Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
there's no reason.
Yeah,
she doesn't get a kid in her life and goes, "Nah, I'm done. I'm out of crime.
Yeah,
I'm going back. I'm going going back to the way I used to be," and becomes a perfectly good mother to this kid and raises him to be the perfect kid. There's no reason he can't have a normal life just because his dad was a Joker. It's like, that's like saying because he was born the Joker's, he's got the Joker's blood in him, he automatically has to be a mental case. Like he doesn't become a serial killer just because he's got the Joker's blood in him.
That's the nature argument.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like it's that nature versus nurture thing. Like you can't say that he's gonna become a killer because his dad was a killer. Just because he has the same genes as the Joker doesn't mean he's gonna. It's the same way. Like just because he's got the same genes, I don't think he's not gonna come out with pale skin.
No. Especially if you go with the chemical burn backstory and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's weird. Just to bring it back to what we said about actually Harley being a mother, it is weird to see her in that role. But when you think how Batman actually treats her throughout the series, he's actually not that hard.
Oh, he's never that hard on. Like, have you? I don't know if
he understands.
Read.
Yeah, he understands that she's a victim.
Yeah.
She's a massive victim. If you read the backstory and stuff, the fact that she's been so corrupted by this man, and the only reason I think that their child would become in any way like the Joker is if Harley obviously resented
him for it. Yeah,
it wouldn't be the fact that if Joker was still alive, I don't think she would raise him to be, not necessarily raise him to be a villain, but you get what I mean. I think that's the only way it would happen, not because the nature argument, just the nurture. But it is amazing to see how Batman actually, I know we haven't really covered this in the episode fully, But it is
Yeah.
interesting to see how Batman interacts with all the different villains and how he treats them differently. Like he goes to Freeze and he talks about his wife and he actually sympathises the tiniest bit with him. And he's like, I understand the situation, but I need this, all this kind of stuff. Millions of people will die, not just your wife and stuff. We can try and help your wife, all that kind of thing. Harley, he's a lot softer because he knows that she's been
through a lot of it. Like even if you go back and watch the, like, obviously she was never in the original comics. She originated in the animated show.
Yeah.
If you watch their relationship in that show, for it being a kids' TV show,
he's
was
very dramatic.
He's very abusive.
She was abused even after.
I'm not sure if you guys seen that episode where like Harley tries to impress the Joker and like by just capturing catching Batman and Batman just laughs, which is a very rare sight to see for Batman to do. And the Joker is absolutely angry. I can't remember why he was angry. Maybe because like he didn't like how he was her joke.
Well, no, it was because I think it was more to do with the fact of she was able to do it without him, and she was able to capture the Joker, or she was able to capture the Batman so easily compared to how difficult the Joker finds it a lot of the times to like.
I also think as well, reflect on that he does like. I think Joker likes the cat and mouse of it all. He likes the attention he gets from Batman.
He likes
a lot of people like ship not as a sexual relationship or that kind of thing, but they do ship them as like soulmates and everything. Like they even mentioned it in the games, the films. I think they're destined to do it forever. Yeah. It's kind of like you know what I mean. If they had to get. I forgot what they call it. When you die and you're reborn, sort of thing.
Reincarnated.
Yeah. If they were reincarnated, it'd almost be the exact same thing. A bit like what you see in like the Legend of Zelda, where
it's that
Link is always the hero kind of thing.
But I don't know if I don't know if you have kept up with the comics and stuff, or any news with the comics, especially because no way like Harley has her own comic series, and I can't remember how old this is, but I remember it was either a couple years ago or so. There was something about in the actual comics. They confirmed she was pregnant.
I think I remember hearing something about her actually being pregnant.
I think it was a Suicide Squad.
I don't really keep up with the comics, so like you got to like fill me in.
Suicide Squad comic, where she's talking to like whoever she's talking to within Suicide Squad, and like they bring something up to her, and she's all like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm pregnant," and they like cut her, and they're all like, "Is it his?" And she's like, "Well, yeah," and they're like. Oh fuck! Like, but I don't know if it was ever elaborated on, if that was ever explained later on down the line. But there was something to do with that in the comics as well.
Yeah,
like it's a storyline. It's a storyline they do like to touch on a lot. It's one of those what ifs.
Yeah, I do want to like touch on. I might have to like look up that comic, to be honest with you. I've been trying to like get into like comic superhero comics. I actually got the Killing Joke right there, and I think that's pretty good.
Have you watched the movie?
Pretty good for episode.
Have you watched the movie of it yet?
No, I think the movie's shit, to be honest with you.
I liked it,
but like
it's.
I'm gonna guess you don't like the Batgirl story bit.
Well, I don't like They also like the artistic. Also like the. They don't really capture the panels like because in the comic like the panels like. When it like flashes back to Joker or back to Joker's backstory, like they kind of like get it right in a way, so like it looks exactly, so like it kind of like is a very smooth transition basically. But I don't in the animation you don't really see any of that.
We have got a highlight though, and I did a little bit of this at uni regarding fidelity to the source material with a different medium. When you're moving books, comics, whatever, into a visual format that's moving images.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is styles you can do with panels and stuff, but if they go for a style at a certain area, so if they do a transition of a different theme or a different time or whatever in earlier on in the film, and they don't reflect it later on, or they throw in one just to have strong validity to the comics, then it might look out of place. I didn't mind the way that they laid it out. I thought the Batgirl bit went on a little bit longer than I thought it should have done.
Yeah.
But the overall film, I really liked. The ending, obviously, in particular, that joke, I thought was that is chilling and amazing. And
the voice acting gets loads of praise.
And I do fantastic though. That's why.
Oh, definitely. And then when Batman starts laughing and it's like it's chilling, and then the whole pan down and the lightning.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it personally. But that's just my view. I know
I enjoyed it too, but like you said, it's that my only issue was the whole Batgirl stuff at the beginning. After
Yeah.
that, once it
Yeah.
actually went into the proper Killing Joke story, I was sold.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost their mind as well of like the age gap between Bruce and
Yeah,
Barbara.
that was a bit
but
iffy at the start. I was
Yeah, like I do want to like
but they
touch on that.
didn't they
and,
highlight her as an older Barbara?
Oh yeah,
I
no, they
think.
did. They do, but it was like
yeah,
a lot
they
of
did.
people.
Did.
A lot
They
of
didn't like it.
A lot of people still felt iffy because of the time period in the comics that she would have to be
Yeah.
as Batgirl.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but in the movie they try and say like she's a bit older.
The thing is, especially with the new 52 and everything that they did, they changed so much. It's so hard to keep up with how old everyone is. In some cases, Batman would be in his 50s when Damien's very young still, and or when Jason comes back as Red
Well, sure,
Hood
it's
and
not
all that
even.
kind of stuff.
It's not even 52 anymore.
Yeah.
It's Rebirth, isn't it?
I don't know. They've changed it again.
Yeah, it's Rebirth now. I think it is Rebirth
'Cause it
now,
was
but
New
like
52
I think the Killing
Because it was New
Joke
52,
can be.
and then there was a whole fuck up with New 52 because people hated New 52. So then they went back and were like, right, we're rewriting it all again, and they're doing Rebirth.
One thing I did like in the new 52, and this is just because he's one of my favorite like anti-villain / anti-hero things, is I love Red Hood. I don't keep that a secret. I think he's awesome.
I love Red Hood.
If I'm right in thinking, in the new 52, wasn't it that he, because of what happened, he basically came risen up essentially, and Talia found him, put him in the Lazarus pit. He got revived. He got trained with the League of Shadows or the League of Assassins, whatever they call it. I forgot the name. And essentially, I really liked it because he essentially became Talia's son. That he was brought up again.
Have you read all of that story though?
Well, I might have done. I don't know. Depends what you're talking about.
Because they elaborate on that relationship a little bit more, and it becomes a whole weird triangle between between
I know that
Talia,
bit, but I mean
Red Hood and Bruce, and it's like stop.
Let me rephrase it then, so we don't carry on down there. But at the beginning, I think that's what you get. But then
at the beginning,
it's definitely just the connections between all three I like, and the fact that just the manipulation that Red Hood goes through. The story, I think the whole it sounds really cheesy, but the rising from the dead thing, all that kind of box. I just think it works.
It explains why he's so mental as well, though, because of the whole Lazarus pit does fuck with your brain coming back so much.
I do want to talk a bit more about comics because, unfortunately, like as I said before, I don't really like I'm not too immersed into superhero comics myself. So so hearing all this new stuff happening with Rebirth and New 52, I looked into a bit of it, but I'm not hugely well versed with it. But you guys, I think you guys will definitely have to teach me, a newbie, I was going to say virgin, but that's not right. But just a newbie to all this comics.
You.
I like it. That's going to be the title. We knew 52 Adam in this episode.
But I'm not sure if anyone's heard the music from the game. The Coheed and Cambria is deranged. When I listened to that, it was on IGN put on their website quite a few times, and even though because it's not in the game mainly because it's rock music, but
it's
when
copyrighted.
I was yeah that too, but when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, it must be talking about Catwoman because Catwoman, Batman, boy, girl, obviously that's what you think when you're 12 years old. But but then as I got older, I kind of realized the story wasn't about Batman and Catwoman. It's about Batman and Joker because this is definitely said in Arkham Knight where Batman and the Joker are kind of intertwined, as they say, soulmates. They kind of need each other in a way because they kind of rely each other and.
Don't they do that a lot with songs through the entire series? I don't know if it's in the. I think it's in Arkham City where Joker's singing "Only You." Only you can make me smile and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically they do relate to. Yeah, I know what you mean through the music. It's definitely chilling to hear, and you see that relationship through that method.
What's everyone's favorite skin from City?
Oh God, now you got me thinking back.
There should only be one answer. There should only be one answer.
I think I want to guess what yours is, but I'm not. I think
I know what yours is as well.
Go on then, Adam. Guess what his skin is.
I think it's the Batman Begins one.
Begins? That's not in there.
That's not.
Do you mean Beyond?
Do Do you mean Beyond?
Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond. Sorry, Batman.
I was gonna
the
guess Batman Beyond as well.
That's second to me.
Oh,
Ah,
I don't remember a lot of the skins from it. Not from City.
It's
Did they have the new 52 one in that one?
no, they didn't. It's my one is the Dark Knight Returns because of the chin.
Oh yeah,
he just has
massive.
the chin.
That big.
But like the Beyond skin's also amazing. But I actually kind of prefer the Beyond skin they have in
the armored one.
The armored one in Night, because it just
the
so
armored
nice.
one looks so much better. It's not, you don't see his
disagree.
tight ass buns
Yeah.
as much, but that's the sacrifice you got to make for armor.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. I can't remember.
I actually do want to talk about Batman Beyond at one point.
Oh,
because
Batman Beyond was such a show.
I just want to highlight to listeners and viewers, this isn't a Batman show.
We do
while we're
other
going very
topics.
much
This
into
is
detail.
just this episode.
Yeah, this is the second episode of the like a 3 or 4 story episode arc. We just want to highlight it that
We will
be
eventually
other
talk about
characters
other
and
things
subjects.
than
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
There will
And
be
it's not just
Spider-Man.
superhero
There
subject.
will be Spider-Man at some stage.
There will be more
Like, quite
superheroes, but it's not
so
just
much
superheroes.
other superheroes and other
There'll be
stuff
other
out there because
movies.
this is such this is absolutely huge. And you just heard like 5 minutes ago, like these two were just talking about so many comics, the New 52, Rebirth, all the characters.
That's it.
I'm a nerd,
Everything
I'm
we've been
allowed
on
to
a
talk.
tangent on. Everything we've been on a tangent on could possibly be an episode. So if you did enjoy any of the little off tangents that and you thought, I want to hear more of that, I would definitely stay in tune because it's most likely gonna come back around at some point, and you will hear about it.
Absolutely. So guys, I think it's the best time to say goodbye to everyone. So but like if you did enjoy the video, do like and subscribe. And subscribe to the channel.
Don't forget to comment as well.
And let us know what you want to hear.
Give us topics. Give us topics you want us to discuss, and we'll throw them in there.
We're not imaginative or inventive.
No,
we can't.
We don't
think
have
of the
brain
stuff.
cells to do
we
this
need
ourselves.
you to think of it for us.
We need you.